Howdy ho, you handsome hunk. Grab a snack and gain some chunk. If your day is great or really sunk, we hope to help you shake the funk. So if you're good to hear some junk, buckle up, it's the Junk Monk Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Junk Monk Podcast. I'm your host Kandyce Sloan, who you know from Instagram at Hardens and Hard Hats.
And I'm Noah, your co-host, who you know from Right Now.
If this is your first time listening, let us fill you in. We are watching and reviewing every episode of the USA hit TV show Monk right here each week.
We're going to do so while eating a little bit of junk. So me and Kandyce are actually sharing us something a little more fancy today. We have a jar of mixed nuts, like almonds, peanuts, and we have a little, you know, like the
mixing cup.
A mixing cup, yeah. Well,
it's super fancy.
It's super fancy, filled with Nutella, so that way we can pick up our peanut or whatever, and then put it in the Nutella.
I'm actually excited. I actually really like Nutella, and I remember when it was like a big craze back a couple years ago, and so I kind of got burnt out on it, and I'm excited to try it again after all these years. Also, you must know I have seen every episode of Monk. I'm a huge fan, started watching in about 2007, and for the most part watched it as it aired.
I've seen the pilot episode and those we've done on the show, and a few scattered here and there at different seasons.
So, if you're ready to start the show, Toby, take it away.
Here's what happened.
All right, so this is Season 5, Episode 9, Mr. Monk Meets His Dad. So here's what happened. In the opening scene, we see Kenneth Woods and Ben Glazer discussing their business, Tiger Bay Trucking. Woods is confronting Glazer that he knows about the used truck parts he's been putting in the rigs and the money he's been pocketing. When he goes to lift the hood up and show Glazer his proof, Woods' tie is caught in the fan belt. But instead of cutting him loose, Glazer decides to kick his feet out from under him and let him die. Next, we discover that Jack Monk, Adrian's father, works for that same company. When he declines an invitation to Christmas dinner, Adrian decides to go along for a trip on Jack's 18-wheeler. There are some things off about the trip. Monk notices that they're going out of their way and making nonsensical deliveries to random places. When Jack hears of Kenneth Wood's death, he and Adrian are both agreed that something is shady. When Monk discovers the GPS memory chip remembers the last 5,000 miles driven, he puts it together. Ben Glazer had sent Jack on a made-up route to delete the chip's record of his visit with Kenneth Woods. After a wild ride, the chip is erased, but fortunately they are able to bust him with the shredded tie that was still under the hood.
So that was Mr. Monk Meets His Dad. A big episode.
It was. I'm excited to get into this one.
Yeah. What did you like about this episode, Kandyce?
I have quite a few things. I feel like not as much little random stuff as I normally do. As you noticed, the other three main characters were not really in this episode. So there's not really very many like Stottlemyre lines or Randy lines or even Natalie schemes or anything like that. So most of everything takes place with Jack and Adrian.
I will say there was a good Stottlemyre line.
What was that?
That I am waiting for. I don't know about line, but it was a good Stotty moment, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
When Monk is talking to Stottlemyre and he's like, okay, I'm not going with my dad. He can go by himself, right? He's like, okay, but your house and your money, you can always go back to that, but you'll never have this shot again. Go with him, you know, because you'll... And then everyone, like, supports him.
Yeah,
Everyone at the Christmas party is like, yay, Monk! And then Monk's calling and he's, like, crying to Natalie. He's like, he doesn't even love me. And it was really
That's
funny.
true. Those are two different parts, but the first part about Stottlemyre being like, yeah, you have one shot, this is it. I actually was like, wow, the last episode was the rock concert with Stottlemyre and his son Jared. So, right? That was a really good tie-in. Again, not completely out of character. So when we were watching it, you were like, oh, Stottlemyre. And I thought, hey, it is kind of more of a Natalie thing to do. Like, come on, Mr. Monk, you need to go with your dad.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, the last episode was with Jared. And so it's, you know what I mean? It's like, again, not a forced thing. We just had an episode where Stottlemyre and his son are bonding and trying to create memories together. And he realizes, look, I know you only have one shot with your kid, so do it.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
I like Monk is Natalie, please, can I have that cookie? I'll never ask for anything ever again. Please.
Well, he's actually a little snippy. He's like, no, Mr. Monk. Then Julie's going to want one, and then you're going to want another one. He's like, Natalie, please. Oh, it's just a cookie. It's just a stupid cookie. He's like, okay, you can have one.
So he takes it, and he just throws it in the trash. She's like, Mr. Monk, what was that about? And he's like, what's up with that elf? And he's like, no, what, Mr. Monk?
It was a little crooked, and what is up with that elf? That was really good. And then it was cute when Julie was like having fun with him and running around. He didn't think it was that fun, I'm sure, but just running around the table. She's like, no, Mr. Monk, no. That was cute. I actually like, as I mentioned, not very much, the gang action here, but with Monk gone, they were able to have a nice Christmas party.
Oh,
together, and everybody was having fun and drinking, and Natalie was having fun. Stottlemyre and Randy were rocking out, and that probably wouldn't have been very interesting for us to watch because it's not the mystery or whatever. Yeah. But I was like, oh, Natalie gets a day off or a few days because Mr. Monk is gone. I'm not sure how many other times we see them not together for multiple days. When does maybe Mr. Monk bumps his head or something?
Yeah,
or when he's literally has amnesia. I can't really think of maybe when Kevin Dorfman is with him and they go and that's Sharona when they leave. So yeah, it's very rare that we would see Mr. Monk by himself with someone else for a long period of time. So interesting.
I like how Monk stands up for himself and he's like, I don't need my father. But it's good that he does reconnect with his dad, but it's good to know that he doesn't need him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Where most other characters in his life, which we kind of see the same thing with Ambrose when they first, get together. He's really mad at Ambrose and whatever. But for the most part, the people that he keeps in his life are people he doesn't see himself living without. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I get that point about his dad. So yeah, most of the episode is about his dad. It's kind of hard because there's a lot of dislikes when it comes to his father. So you kind of have to go at it from a point of Tony Shalhoub maybe as an actor and how he kind of kills this part with,
for sure.
The emotion. I feel like it's pretty spot on, which would be, due to the writing also, but it's pretty spot on. He doesn't see himself calling him dad. So he calls him Jack. All the sad moments that he has, when he first meets him, whenever he is explaining the story, which we've heard before, he went out to get some food and then said he was never going to come back.
Yes.
Or didn't say that. He never comes back from getting the food.
The Chinese food.
But then he does the wave. Mm-hmm. We've never heard that before. That he, the way that he kind of does the salute wave to him. And so it was just really sad to see that. And then he tells him, and when you leave, don't wave. And you're like, oh, because he does not want that. He's replayed that moment over and over again in his mind, and he's like, don't do that. Uh-huh. So, yeah, a lot of somber moments for, but again, I feel like you got to look at it from Tony Shalhoub's standpoint, and, this was a really good acting job, I thought.
This is a sad episode, right? But a really funny moment is when Monk is passing out terrible toys with his dad.
Yeah.
And this random little girl, after one girl chokes on one of the pieces of something, we don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
But Monk uses some random little girl's finger to dig it out of her throat, and the little girl goes off. She's like, this is the worst Christmas ever. I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate you to death. Go back to the North Pole.
And die.
That
little girl was cray-cray.
Yeah.
When I did think it was funny, but I thought it was a little bit of a plot hole that he put his hand in front of the little girl's mouth to begin with, because the little girl was coughing, choking, on his hand.
I liked it.
And then he takes the other little girl's hand and puts it in his mouth. But I was like, oh, I don't think he would have put his hand in front of her mouth, but that was just a little plot hole. But it was really funny because he's like, yeah, not gonna do that. Mm-hmm. Here we go, and shove. So that was cute. Another funny moment, which I thought I don't know if it was funny actually, but it was another sweet moment. I don't think you liked it, but when Randy was honored and and pleasured and
yes.
privileged to meet Monk's father.
That's actually a dislike of mine.
And he's like, why? It's like, I don't know. I just feel honored and pleasured and privileged.
Oh.
I liked that. But I like it because I don't like how Randy gets shut down, but I like how that just to me shows how much respect Randy has for Monk, that he probably understands, like, wow, Monk is a great detective, a great man, and then to meet his father's like, oh, wow. Like, I feel like he would feel the same way if he ever met...
Randy's dad? Stottlemeyer's dad.
Yeah, Stottlemeyer's dad. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was actually nice, so...
Yeah. I like when Monk and his dad are, like, basking in their victory, and they're like, Monk's usual, like, oh, yeah, I did it, right? Where he just sits there and he just, like, smiles, right? He's like...
Oh, which part are you talking about?
Oh, when him and his dad do the hands.
Oh,
so
at the end.
yeah. So Monk, doing his regular like, oh yeah, I did it. He puts his hands together in that weird like crisscross way, and his dad does the same, and it's so cute.
It is so cute. They're just like standing there together, like and looking at each other. And they're like, oh, their hands are the same. So he got something from his dad. That was sweet. Mm-hmm. So we do have some parts like that with the hands that I put. Jack's only redeeming qualities was basically whenever they were at that restaurant and he kind of catches on to Monk's eccentricities. I felt like the memories are kind of flooding back for him, and he's like, oh, this is touching.
Oh yeah.
And Dad's like, this is touching, and he's like, no, my food. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot. And then so he's really sweet and gets the plates, and he's like, oh, I remember now, and starts separating the food. And he like, I don't know, it's maybe a little out of character for all the mean things that he said to him thus far.
Yeah.
But it was sweet that he was like, actually don't mind this, and I didn't mind this before. Mm-hmm. And he separates the food, and then he says, do you have a picture of her? He hands him the photo of Trudy and says, I'm glad that she was there for you.
Yeah.
And he's like, smiling and then says, I missed you. Like, again, I don't know. It was a little bit of a stretch. I feel like they were kind of trying to change you to the trajectory of, oh, look, he's not such a bad guy.
It was a 180.
Yeah, it was definitely a 180 in that. But I'm trying to think of it as like, like I said, his memories are kind of coming back of like, you're not really the reason that I left. Even though that's something that he says, obviously, in the episode. It's like, that's not why. He's a flawed man. It doesn't have anything to do with Adrian or Ambrose. But yeah, so I feel like those are his like really only redeeming qualities in the episode.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Monk rides a bike.
Yes.
Monk rides a bike.
That's true. That's true.
Such a big triumphant moment.
That is. I do have, okay, before we get to the bike, because I feel like that's a good ending spot, there are sweet moments where we see him, you're right, he separates the food, but then when they're talking, Jack says, hey, eat your carrots. Mm-hmm. And so Monk just wants to be like told what to do, like a little kid. And it's so sweet. And he picks up the carrots and stabs them and puts them in his mouth. And he just has a big smile on his face. And I feel like that's when he kind of lets his guard down.
Yeah.
And that's when they start the happy montage where they're in the truck and the Christmas music is playing. And then you even see him dress down, where he's wearing that Henley with the buttons, and then he's wearing that little like beret. It's not a beret, but it's similar.
He made a comment about it. He was like, I forgot what he said.
Oh, it was when. Are you talking about whenever his dad cusses?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he was like, oh, that SOB, and he was like, oh, sorry for the cursing. And he's like, oh, it's okay, I'm a trucker. He tips his hat. Like, I don't think that's a trucker hat. There's literally something called a trucker hat, and that's not it. So I'm not sure what kind of hat that was.
Yeah.
Almost looked like a paperboy hat or something, like a newspaper man hat. I don't know.
Like, it's usually just a straightforward, like, daddy hat with holes in it, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. My last thing is actually the bike. So.
Okay, I have two more.
Okay, go ahead.
Crime, amazing.
Okay.
Very thought out, loved it. And Monk is better than Jack Jr.
Oh, that's true. Monk is better than Jack Jr. I have that. Ugh, it's in my dislikes, but Yeah, he's better than Jack Jr. I like that. I mean, it was funny, though, whenever he's like, oh, Jack Jr.'s a loser. He aspires, what did they say? He dreams of being a putz. He smokes pot. He steals money out of my wallet. And he lives in the basement. So, yes, I did. There was a funny part. He is better than Jack Monk. I like that.
Yes. And, yeah, that's all I have.
So, what particularly did you like about the crime? Because I honestly I had so much Jack Monk stuff that I didn't even think about it.
It's one of those well thought out ones that, like, would never really happen, but are still, like, super cool to watch. I mean, I guess it would have been cooler if it was, like, you know, they're 2 miles above where they should have been for the GPS. It would have been cool if they were, like, right there. And then, boop, they hit 5,000. Right, and then it would have been like a loss, and they redeemed themselves with the whole tie thing, which I think would have been better. But the fact that they went like 2 over is just kind of
I did almost write that in my plot holes though, because I was like, there's no way they're not past 5,000 miles with all this like crazy driving.
Yeah.
Because I was starting to write it like, oh, it's gonna show them at 5,000, but then it showed them at 5,002. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. So, yeah. Either way, it was a loss in that part. But, yeah, I did like the tie. And he says at the very beginning, what is that thud noise?
Yeah.
And then they tie it in at the end. So, yeah, I like that. It was a pretty good mystery.
Yep.
I liked all the toys, too, the crappy toys. How he puts that together.
One thing I don't like about the mystery is they usually do this, withholding the one piece of information that could help. You know, like the GPS tracks where you used to be for the last 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
They withhold that information, and then, boom, it's still like a big thing, but it's also like, we couldn't have known anyways.
Yeah. Well, because we just knew that there was some weird reason that they were driving around, but we didn't know necessarily, like Monk thought maybe it had to do with drugs, like he's looking through the boxes, so like we don't know why is he driving all these miles, or is he driving for these actual delivery or these places, or just to get Jack Monk out of there? Because it could have had something to do with the fact that, I don't know, because they mention, oh, the tie's from Jack Monk, and then they leave, you know, they leave, they make him leave, so it's like, well, maybe it had something to do with they just want Jack Monk gone. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, oh, the bike's the last thing, but I didn't talk about the bike. The bike scene was good. It was really good. Like, it was super sweet. And he's like, I won't let you go. I won't let you go. I'm holding on. And then Monk's like in circles. And he does a really good job of acting like he doesn't know how to ride a bike. He's wobbling, and then he's like, ring, ring, ring the bell. And he goes by the criminal and like smiles at him through the car. And it was just super sweet. I was like, that scene was actually really long. But I was like tearing up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how long is this scene? Because I'm tearing up. And then it finally ends, and what does he say? He's like, he keeps saying like, oh, good job, boy. Oh, that's my boy. And give me the bell. And he's like, bring. I was like, oh, this is too sweet.
Yeah.
Tears.
What did you dislike about this episode, Kandyce?
Not much.
Yeah, me neither.
Again, basically, Jack Monk. He has so much against him, and it's crazy how they still managed to end with this bike scene and have such a redeeming quality. Because I'm like, dude, there's no way that I'm gonna have one nice thing to say about him. But then as I kept watching it, I started realizing all the little things, and so that's how I came up with his only redeeming qualities. But he has some bad stuff, guys. He literally hasn't talked to Adrian in 20-something years, 40-something years, I guess, right?
I think.
And because if he leaves when Adrian is 8 years old, Adrian's got to be 48 years old. So that's 40 years.
Yeah.
Right? Because Adrian's almost 50. So it's got to be about 40 years. And it's to get him out of jail for whatever. And then he's like, well, you could call me dad. And you're like, really?
Yeah.
Really? And then he's like, please forgive me. I know I did a lot of crappy stuff, but I also really need to get out of jail. And if you can only do one of those things, I'll take the last one. And you're like, wow, this guy has some nerve. Do you have anything about Jack that you wanted to say? Because I have a list.
I actually don't.
Okay. So he wants him to get out of the truck because...
Oh, yeah?
he's like, "You're looking at my boss. What are you trying to do? Get me fired?" And Adrian's
I
like,
hate that.
"Really? Like, look at this stuff that he has. Like, you're sitting there. He's making you look like a fool. You're dressing up like a bad Santa and handing out toys that are like Easter, Hanukkah. Like, a little girl's probably choking on Halloween candy or something.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't care that he's doing that. All you care about is like, oh, well, I gotta get it. He actually was almost about to be fired anyway, so whatever.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm going on a Jack Monk rant. You go. Do say something. I'm fired up about Jack Monk, guys.
You're all Jack Monk,
am.
but the old guy dies at the beginning, and he was sweet.
Oh, he was. And he's like, and I'll show you the proof. That was his downfall, though, right? Because remember, guys, if you're ever in this situation, you don't say, I have the proof. Let's go look, murderer. And then
in the middle of nowhere, Texas, or
Midland, Texas.
behind a friggin' RV in the dark at like 3 a.m.
Let's go behind this van. Let's go behind this 18-wheeler. Let's go behind this van. Let's go behind this truck. Guys, don't go behind anything.
Let's talk inside the engine.
Yes, let's talk inside the engine. I like that. I did put that I did not like. Cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, he was just
Cold-blooded.
mean.
He was like, hey, help. And he's like, let me think.
At least he was like a jerk until we got to experience like him being a jerk, and then also his downfall. Which was good.
That's true. But that was pretty cold-blooded. He just kicks.
Yeah.
Like, it was straight up an accident. He didn't. He's like, wait, let me take this opportunity to whoop. He could have just maybe like. I guess he couldn't have just left him there. I guess the fact that he was just going to leave him there, he couldn't risk him like doing that. So yeah, but I did have a note about that. That was cold.
That was cold.
Let me get some more Jack stuff going on. So he kicks him out of the truck, right?
Yeah.
But he also lies about Jack Jr. So I know he's kind of trying to keep up this story that he's obviously been telling everyone, that he's an orthopedic surgeon from Baltimore or whatever. He says, if it makes you feel any better, I left his mother too. And he's like, how is that supposed to make me feel better? And you're like, okay, exactly. If you're going to go out of your way to say like, look, if it makes you feel better, I left his mother. Why would you say, like, if it makes you feel better, he's an orthopedic surgeon who lives in Baltimore and he's doing great. Like, why wouldn't you say, hey, if it makes you feel any better, he's a screw up.
Yeah.
You know? Like, why would you lie? I didn't get that. That was something that I didn't like. I'm like, why wouldn't you tell him the truth? Yeah, he's just an unlikable character.
Yeah.
That's it. I think I'm done with him.
Major dislike.
I'll probably think of something
I have a major dislike. No Ambrose.
Oh, I know. Whenever he was like, oh, you should come to a Christmas dinner with me and Ambrose, it would mean a lot.
I know.
I was like, Ambrose, question mark? Dang it.
No Ambrose.
Yeah. But then I did remember in that second, I was like, oh yeah, he gets on the truck, so never mind. But yeah, that would have been awesome. But I will say that it was great to see him repair his relationship with his dad. If we would have added Ambrose into it, that would have been a whole nother can of worms, because Ambrose has his way own issues with his dad. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I do agree. I love Ambrose. So, and he's not a terrible character like Jack Monk. So, let's see. Do I have anything else? Okay, the ungrateful orphan. You put that in your likes.
Oh, yeah.
I put that in my dislikes. I was like, oh my gosh, what a brat.
Kathy hates Monk to death.
You don't have parents, like, to buy you toys. I think you should be more grateful. Like, that kid got baseball cards. Like,
I mean, there was like a book in there or in like Spanish or something, right?
Yeah, that's not very good. But still, you could learn Spanish.
You can learn
Come on.
Yeah, come on, be grateful.
Be grateful. Come on. Do you have any more, or are you done?
I have 2 more.
Okay, go for it.
This is a sad episode. You know, that's it. Like I just, it got me down. Okay, and then also Randy is stupid because.
Oh yeah, you put that in your dislikes.
Yeah, because he's all. It's a pleasure to meet you. Why is it a pleasure? Because you're Monk's dad. Like, you could have said that. You respect Monk. You're happy to meet his dad. But instead it's
got
I don't
flustered.
know. Oh my gosh. Sure, Kandyce.
Okay, well, Jack was being rude, because he's like, why? I'm like, yeah, I get what you're saying. He should have just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I did see something else. I have something else about Jack. the worst thing, this is the worst thing that he did, so I'll end with that one. When he says, "Now I remember why I left."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a cruddy moment.
Messed up. Again, that moment was like unforgivable. Like, you can't say that to someone like that. But then they still give you that stupid bike moment where you're like, oh, how sweet. Like, but remember, people, he said that to Monk. That was messed up. And then my last thing, so that it's a more of a happier note, but we needed more Julie. We did. I put Return of Julie for a minute. But she has a great line.
She does.
When they were talking on the phone.
No. Mr. Monk, I can't do that. Because I don't have a license.
Mr. Monk, please stop crying. He hung up. So, see, we need more Julie.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Julie's funny.
I know, she is.
So that's it?
That is it.
He's the guy. Okay, since, not very traditional, I have a person for He's the Guy.
Okay.
Technically, I don't, but me and Candyce both agreed that this person looks very, very familiar. Like, we think she's from, like, a Disney show. It's the little blonde girl who threatened Monk. Who, go, die, I hate you. Mm-hmm. She's very familiar. So if you know who she is, or...
Did you get her name or no?
No, or it was like Rachel something, but I don't think it was her. But if you watch the episode at 22 minutes and 52 seconds...
Ooh, timestamp. I think that's our first timestamp.
Yeah.
I like that.
So at 22 minutes, 52 seconds, there is this little blonde girl who, it's not that actor, but she's so much like another one. That wasn't something big. That was in like a big like TV show or movie.
Yeah.
Because me and Candyce both recognize her.
Yeah. And that's weird. Because I thought she kind of looks like the little girl. And just kind of. There's a girl on The Medium. Is she the youngest daughter? No, she's the middle daughter. Bridget. She looks kind of like her eyes. But it wasn't her, obviously. But then I thought that I recognized the little boy who is around the same time, right? They're all orphans at the same place.
Yeah.
He's the one that's tugging on Mr. Monk and is like, isn't Santa the greatest man in the world? And Monk's like, I don't know. But that little boy, I thought that he was from One Tree Hill. If you guys know One Tree Hill, Logan is the little boy who's Clay's son. I thought that was him, but it's not. But then he was in an episode of Medium. So I was like, what the heck? Full circle mama with The Medium here. Like, so much going on. So we basically thought we recognized people, and we didn't. But we tried. We did. We really did try. And then I do have an actual, here's the guy. Dang it. I did pull a Noah. Here's the guy. Did not think that was going to happen.
Tunk Jime.
Anyway, so Brian Kerwin, who plays the bad guy, Ben Glazer, I did recognize him. He was on Roseanne. He played Gary, who was Jackie's boyfriend for an episode or two, I think. And it's whenever she's a cop and she gets injured, he gives her an ultimatum, like, I can't watch you, possibly die on this job, so you need to quit because you got shot. And she's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And so he breaks up with her. So he's on that. He also was on Frasier, and he played Bob. And he is, if you are a Frasier fan, he is the guy who plays Lana Lindley's ex-husband, and she's trying to decide if she wants to be with Frasier or Bob, and he plays Bob. So I think he's on 2 episodes of that. And then he was also on Medium.
Dang.
Yeah.
Full circle Medium moment.
Full circle Medium moment.
I feel like during He's the Guy, it's like, and then you hear someone like, that guy's on Frasier. I remember him. So, I like He's the Guy.
Me too. And also, it's like, you kind of get an insight to, like, the kind of shows that we watch. Because you'll hear me repeat, things.
One Tree Hill, like, 6 times.
House, Medium.
Roseanne, Frasier.
Oh, also, remember Roseanne, Jackie on Roseanne. That's Laurie Metcalf, which is, bumps his head, right? So, another full circle moment, of course. And then, so he was a bad guy, I think in Medium. I'm not sure. But anyways, I do have one more thing to say on He's the Guy. I've actually started watching Columbo, which is a detective show that was on like in the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
And I actually started watching it because a lot of people in the monk groups ask like, oh, who watches Columbo? Do you like Columbo? And it's kind of like how people ask about Psych. Like, oh, are you a Psych fan?
Yeah,
So it's kind of like that, where people are like, oh, it's a murder mystery. I love it. Columbo's awesome because he's very similar to Monk and, his little quirky ways and stuff. So I have been watching that. And in one of the groups, I saw there was a question on there about like, who do you think would be a great, guest star that was never on Monk? And someone said, oh, Peter Falk, who plays Columbo, should have been Monk's dad. And I was like, oh, that would have been so cool. Freaking cool. That would have been so cool. But that obviously did not happen. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought that was a really cool, like, not fan theory, but, that would have been a super cool way to tie in their stories in their universes. So yeah, I thought that would have been cool.
Yeah. Junk time. Okay, everyone, welcome back to my favorite time and yours. Where? Me and Kandyce. Dang it, Kandyce. I keep on messing it up.
Okay, it's all right. I'm just ready for Nutella. So
okay. While you're eating your fatty Nutella that I've been eating this whole time, I'm gonna try and redo it again. Okay, ready? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my favorite time and yours on the show where I eat junk and Kandyce asks me questions. Eh?
Okay. That was an explanation of what we're doing.
Yeah, right? That's the point.
McDonald's, the place where you drive through and get food so that you can feed yourselves.
And your family.
That's much catchier than put a smile on.
Yeah, but what does that even mean?
All right, so speaking of Mr. Monk Bumps His Head, we had a question whenever we were doing some, reach out service to our Would You Rather episode. Mm-hmm. And on Facebook, someone had asked the question, but I couldn't say it because you hadn't seen this episode yet.
Okay.
So, would you rather be on the truck with Jack Monk or in the back of the 18-wheeler like Mr. Monk Bumps His Head?
That's easy. With Jack Monk. Right?
Really? Why?
Wait, is Monk there?
I think you are Monk in these scenarios. You are either Monk, like as in the passenger seat, or you're a Monk as in you're the one in the back of the pickup on Bumps His Head.
Then yeah. Why would you want to be in the back of the pickup and bumps his head?
I personally would not like to be awake or conscious for that crazy ride. Are they not on the side of a cliff?
Yes.
They're on the side of a cliff, and they're, like, driving uncontrollably in an 18-wheeler with no brakes. I've literally had multiple nightmares about these types of situations.
Really?
Yes. Where I'm in a car without brakes, absolutely. I have had that dream so many times, or nightmare. So I definitely would rather have been unconscious in the back of a truck for... No. I wouldn't want to wake up with amnesia, but that wasn't part of the question. So...
I wouldn't want to die, but that wasn't part of the question. I mean, if we know the outcome of it...
Yeah, I guess. No, I would be traumatized. I'm already one of those, like, grippers. Like,
yeah, you are.
Barely swerve, and I'm like, oh, hello. And what? Like, I'm sorry, I didn't think you were paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just swerved a little bit. Yeah, but, I mean, exactly. You swerved a little bit. We were basically on the bumps. We were basically on the side of the road in the ditch. I'm basically dead, is what I'm trying to say. I'm definitely an invisible brakes person. I just go right through the floorboard every time. So I guess we know where you stand.
What else for junk time?
What is the worst Christmas gift you've ever got? Obviously referencing the little orphans.
I don't know. I don't want to be rude.
Well.
I
mean, who got you this gift just to be like, okay, don't listen, Mom. Don't listen, Dad, or...
I don't know. I don't really think I have terrible gifts. Okay. Wait. I have a terrible gift, but it's 100% my fault. Okay, so I got this $100 gift card for my grandparents to Amazon, right? And I was holding on to it for such a long time. I was like, oh, I know, I'll know when I want to use it, right? So like last week, I was like, oh, I don't know what I want to get with it, you know, because we have lapel mics for our backup recording for Monk, or for the podcast. And so I wanted to get a Bluetooth version of that, so that way for my vlogs, Noah Hernandez on YouTube, for my vlogs, all I have to do is clip one of those lapel mics and clip the other side into, my phone, and then boom, I can just record from far away, and it'll sound like I'm right there.
Right.
So I really wanted that. And I've been holding on to this gift card for so long, and
You can't
nowhere.
Find it.
I've been searching and searching and searching, and I
That
cannot
sucks.
find it.
I hate that.
Just when I found what I wanted, like it's just gone.
Ugh. That makes me sick.
Which I was gonna tell you. I saw this thing, and it's like, what if someone just walked up to you one day with a box of everything that you've ever lost? I was like,
What?
I know, right?
Oh my gosh. I
just
think
be
there'd
like-
be money in there
you just
for
be like,
sure. Definitely.
yeah.
Now I'm trying to think of stuff that I've lost.
Isn't that crazy? When you I forgot. I don't know who came up with that, but it's just like that would be awesome.
And like how many times in just regular stories where you're like, whatever happened to that? Like, oh yeah, I used to have this. Whatever happened to that?
Yeah.
Like, where's my tape player? I need a cassette player because I have old tapes, like cassette tapes. And I'm like, how the heck am I going to play these? Like, I had a cassette player. Where is it? Why do I have
Yeah.
all the tapes and I don't have the player? Why would I have ever thrown that away but kept all these tapes? I have some boomer issues right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two worst gifts. One was just kind of a little traumatizing from childhood, and not really, because I actually was pretty bratty because I was a tomboy when I was younger. So every like birthday I ever had, if someone got me a Barbie, I would just cross my arms and pout and just go, "Phew," and you would know that I was pissed, right?
Yeah.
So that's like kind of one whatever. So I kind of probably grew out of that bratty stage by this point. But whenever I went to my grandparents' house, but it was my step-grandparents. So they got my step-siblings, like, all these presents, like they normally do, but we were, like, new to the family, so they gave us each one gift, and I got a Donald Duck watch. And I was like, oh, I am balling right now.
Oh, no.
I am so cool. It wasn't even like Mickey Mouse. It was like Donald Duck. It wasn't like the main characters.
Yeah,
it was like a side character.
That sucks.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
Why would they just be like, okay, so we have Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, or Donald Duck? Okay, let's see. I think she'll like Donald Duck.
I'm sure that was in like a $5 Walmart bin somewhere. So that was a little rough. My other gift was from my current husband, so he's probably not going to like that I'm telling the story, but he knows, for the record, he's a bad gift giver. I have been known, like, I give pretty good gifts. People say I'm a good gift giver. So I've been known to like, oh, remember this one time where you said this and you said this? I got this for you. And like, oh my gosh, that's great. Okay, so he tried to do one of those. So I opened my gift and there's earrings.
Okay.
And they're just like little earrings that are, I don't know. They're like a 3-pack of earrings that you buy at like Target, like a little 3-pack. I'm like, oh, this is nice. I don't understand because these are for pierced ears and my ears are not pierced.
Okay.
And so I kind of get the gut wrenching feeling like, oh gosh, like I can't even act like I like these because he doesn't know, because we were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. He doesn't know my ears aren't pierced. This is embarrassing for him. And so I'm like, oh, that's great, but my ears aren't pierced. Like, I don't know what to say because, like, he's never going to see me wear them. My ears aren't pierced. So I'm like, all right. And he's like, oh, remember that one time we were just, like, walking through the store and I asked you what you wanted and you were just, like, joking around and you were just pointing at stuff. And he's like, well, you pointed at these earrings, so I bought them. And I was like,
oh, no.
what? And I'm like, wait, I'm sorry, I still don't really understand, because, like, what am I supposed to do with these? And he's like, well, I don't know. Until this day, I am telling you the story, and I still don't understand what I'm supposed to do with these earrings. So, yeah, that was the worst gift. That was the worst gift I've ever gotten. I'm sure there's probably one that's worse, but not one that I've been more like, okay.
Oh my God. Let's give it up for her current husband, everyone. Yes.
Oh, thanks, Toby. So, I'm done with junk time.
Dang it.
I know.
It always comes to a close too quick.
Plot holes.
Okay. Otherwise known as plotties. I'm trying to rebrand plot holes, people.
Never gonna happen.
Day by day, it's becoming plotties.
Never gonna happen.
Do you have anything? I have one.
I have a bunch, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie. You always say, this is my favorite time of the show, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm always thinking, plot holes is my favorite time of the show.
You have way too many plot holes.
But I like... This is what I like, right? We go through the show and we reminisce, and it's like things that the fans have seen before, right? Like, they know, they've seen the actors we're talking about, they've seen the lines that we're saying, and it's really fun to reminisce. Mm-hmm. But plot holes is kind of, it's like the segment where there's something new there, where you're like, oh, I never thought of the fact that that couldn't happen, or how convenient was this? I like that it's just a segment where we can dissect things a little bit more and look at things in a different way.
Yes.
So let's start with the bad guy. He sends a bunch of junk to the kids. Why would you not spend more time to make your alibi make more sense, right? That's a dead giveaway. Why? For one, we're already driving across states to deliver 6 boxes to random places. And then okay. If you were going to give such crappy gifts, why couldn't you make more boxes and more stops? Mm-hmm. But the fact that you only had 6 boxes, why couldn't you put better gifts in those boxes? Because he said that he stayed at that orphanage when he was a little kid, which was a lie. Mm-hmm. But again, you're trying to make a cover story and say, this orphanage was really important to me, so I'm going to give these kids these gifts, but then they're crappy gifts. So that's just pointing out more that you're a liar.
A dead giveaway, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm going to do mine before you say mine.
Okay.
Because that one was really close. You said bad junk, terrible alibi. Why didn't he just tell them to go one place, like across America, and then come back? But no, we had to do some really shady boop, 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 zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. Which makes no sense. Like, oh, I used to live here, and I used to live there in these 2 orphanages.
Yeah.
You just drive there from there and back.
Genius. That is good. That makes sense. And you could get away with giving them 1 box of good stuff because it would be one orphanage. Exactly. And if it was like, again, I know he was cheap, but it's like if it was just better gifts, there was like, how many kids were there? There was like 10 kids there. Yeah. Get them all. If you got them even all a bike, that would be like $1,000 so that you wouldn't be convicted of murder.
Yeah.
Like, and you obviously were pocketing money.
Yeah.
So you have money from the parts.
For real.
Yeah. Also, why would you not just say that it was an accident that happened? Why would you hide the guy? Because it was an accident. You could say, I was inside, I came outside, and I saw him here. Like, who's going to think that you murdered somebody by sticking their tie in the fan belt?
But then he could have randomly. Honestly,
but he'd already be dead.
Kandyce, you gotta... You, this guy's crazy. He didn't just cut him off. He could have just cut him off right there, and they could have settled it like, hey, I owe you my life. You know? Like, no, this guy's irrational. He's just crazy.
I just feel like there's so many crimes that it's like, why didn't you just say it was an accident? Like, there's some things where you're like, yeah, no, you straight up, like, took a gun and you shot him. Like, that wasn't an accident. But he did accidentally get caught in that thing. So if you just kick his legs out from under him, let him die, and then you call the cops and like, oh my gosh, this accident just happened. I just came outside and my business partner, his tie's caught in this and he fell. I hope he's still alive. Let me cut him out. But you already know he's dead.
No, because that's his car.
But he knows trucks. He obviously knows trucks because he opened the thing. That's what I'm saying. It was a genuine thing that actually did happen. So why not just say it was an accident?
I don't know about that one.
Okay, so this next one, you don't have any more, right?
Nope.
Okay, I actually stole it from you, so do you want it back?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Natalie, at the Christmas party, for some reason, thinks it's a good idea to put Monk on speakerphone, as if he had anything positive to say about him already hating his dad, which I'm sure Natalie knew. So why would she put him on speakerphone?
Yeah. And I guess maybe she had too many.
Yeah, or Monk should have been like, hey, take me off speakerphone. But Monk also doesn't do good in social situations.
Or technology. He's like, what's speakerphone? Yeah, so I totally stole that from you. Because I was like, there's no way.
That is a good one.
Why would he put that on speakerphone? So, stoles it. In the restaurant, I didn't think his food was touching. I actually thought, he must have asked for his food not to touch because his food isn't touching very much.
It isn't, yeah. I noticed that too. I thought he was talking about his dad's plate whenever he said it's touching.
Right, because his food was separated. Okay, so I wasn't the only one that noticed that. Okay, gas pumps don't work that way.
Where they go up to 100 and then what?
Okay, so whenever you're pumping gas, if you want it to hit the exact number, you have to like push it, like let off until that amount of gas goes in the gas tank. The way that it stopped right at 100, that means that he prepaid for $100 of gas inside, and then it stopped. It will only stop like that if you prepay for it, but there's no reason to push it and stop it. You know what I'm saying? Because when Monk looks out the window, he's looking and he's like, nope, keep going, and it stops exactly at 100, right on the dot. In order to get it, that means that Jack Monk would have had to have gotten that perfectly on his first grab, on his first stop. No, nobody does that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that are like, oh yeah, I could do that. But again, that's someone who's like, yeah, I can do that. Like, it's a talent. Exactly, it's a talent. You don't just magically stop at 100.
Yeah, we've never seen Monk be able to tell someone perfectly when to stop at 100. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think I have one more. Oh, this is a how convenient moment. The brakes go out at 4,998.
Oh, they stopped.
Yeah, but the brakes went out at 4,000. Right when they figured it out, basically. The brakes went out.
I guess.
How convenient.
I mean, they stopped pretty harshly. Because Monk was like, stop the car. So.
I think I've been debunked.
You've been debunked, Kandyce.
Debunked? Just push random. Toby, give me a random sound. Just random.
Debunked.
Could use some work, Toby. That's okay. But they don't. Okay, where's one thing? They don't have emergency brakes? Is that not the same thing?
They probably do.
Yeah. There's got to be some safe.
Don't randomize it.
I
mean, I get it's all.
Okay, fine. I'm debunked. Just forget it. I'm debunked. Yikes. Oh my gosh.
I liked it.
Okay.
At least we were on point, right, Toby? Yeah.
But I'm not the only one. Yes, you are. How crazy was Monk this episode?
Plus crazy moments.
Okay, let's do out of our 10.
Out of 10. What's yours?
I don't want to steal yours.
What's yours?
Out of 10 crooked Christmas cookies.
That's good. But is it out of 10 Jack Juniors good?
Out of 10 Jack Juniors?
Mm-hmm.
Like out of 10 people?
Yeah, out of 10 Jack Juniors.
Oh, okay.
Don't make fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you. Just ask me if it was better.
I didn't even... I tried really hard on it, and I went over 3 different things.
Okay, tell me the 3 different things, and I'll tell you if they're...
The GPS.
Okay.
And the tie.
I like the tie. Personally.
Well, I don't even like cookie that much.
I just like... I like things. I'm not sure I consider people to be
Jack
things.
Jack Jr. isn't a real person.
He dreams of being a putz.
He dreams. He's a putz. No, he dreams of being a putz.
Do they say all this while they're driving? While he's crazy driving? I had some backups. Well, I don't know if they were really backups. Kind of, sort of. Like Easter bunnies. Because all the toys the kids get. They get an Easter bunny, baseball cards, and a dreidel.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So I was like, I'll go with the Christmas cookies.
Out of 10 little angry Cathys.
Because it was a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll go with the Christmas.
Out of 10 CCCs.
Oh, yeah. Because last time you put BBBs. Blue Beach Balls. And so I put 10 CCCs.
I totally did, didn't I? Huh.
Yeah.
So what are your blazy blowments?
Okay. We're definitely not rebranding that one. That is not sticking. Do you want to go first, or because I always steal yours? I feel bad.
I only have 2. So.
Okay, well then I'll definitely steal them.
Monk
go ahead.
yells for a cookie at Natalie, and it's touching.
Oh, I actually didn't put that it was touching. So nice. I put the Christmas cookies. I put what's up with that elf. He wants Julie to go get him in Arizona. Mm-hmm. This is Atticus 1. If we see a brown paper bag, we will pick it up. Oh, that's funny. And then he comes back and says, you're making it harder for the cops to do their job, which is not cool. Over. Whenever his dad's cursing, and he says, it's okay, I'm a truck driver. And then the last one is not even really a crazy moment, but Monk is dressed up as an elf, but not really, because he's only wearing the hat. So he is wearing monk clothes with an elf hat. Yeah. So kind of silly, kind of crazy.
Yep.
That's it.
So out of 10 Jack Juniors, I'm going to go with I feel like you're going to say 4 out of 10, but I got a 3 out of 10.
Okay.
What are you?
3 out of 10? Oh, out of 10 CCCs, out of 10 Crooked Christmas cookies, I gave him a 1.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked it. He was good.
I didn't think, I mean, which of these crazy moments that I said would even be that crazy?
Julie.
Yeah.
That's the craziest.
That's the craziest one.
That's a 3.
How is that a 3?
Okay, a 2.
He wants Julie to go get...
That's irrational, Kandyce.
Would you rather trust Julie to drive you? There's a would you rather. Would you rather be in the car from San Francisco to Arizona with a non-licensed Julie or continue the trip with Jack Monk, who just said hateful things to you?
Go with Jack Monk.
Who literally just said, and
Kandyce,
I quote...
I'd rather stay with the guy who abandoned me after 40 years coming back, who insulted me, other than a minor who's like 13 driving a car on the highway.
I would definitely ride with Julie. I would definitely.
Did you see those roads?
Quote, I remember why I left.
They were on cliffs.
I remember why I left.
You would go with Julie? Okay, guys.
In Natalie's car, yes.
I have a quick
She's not
question.
driving an 18-wheeler.
No. Why would
Also,
you do that?
once Julie gets...
You could probably hitchhike there.
Once Julie gets to me, then maybe I could drive. I mean, that wasn't part of my would you rather, but... Because Monk could drive. Not sure that he's supposed to, but he could. He knows how to drive.
I mean, more than Julie.
Exactly. Julie just has to get there.
I would not drive with Julie. That is insane.
Okay, well.
I have a question for everyone. Would you like to see would you rathers? Like one would you rather every junk time? Because I feel like that'd be cool. A different one.
Sprinkle them?
Yeah, sprinkle them from each episode.
I do have some more that had spoilers in them, so.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So we will. I'm sure we will see them, actually, coming up.
Yay!
All right. Let's move on.
Oh, gosh. Toby, are you going to make it? Are you going to make it? Rate this episode. I gotta say, Toby does a pretty good job on Rate This Episode. Am I wrong? Like, that's a pretty...
That was a pretty smooth transition.
When did he learn that tune? Good for him, you know?
Yeah.
I like Toby. Toby's growing on me.
I wouldn't go that far.
What? Okay, fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Rate this episode.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So it's another great one. A great Christmas episode, too, I thought. It's not in your face Christmas, but it had a very heartwarming, like, holiday feel.
Yeah.
Right? Tony Shalhoub had another amazing performance. And, of course, getting more insight to Monk's character and his background is always really fun.
Yeah.
So, I am going with a 10.8.
Really? So an 8 out of 10. I also have an 8 out of 10 because major thing in this one is the crime for me.
Okay.
I really like the crime. I love, meeting the family, the Monk family, you know, with Ambrose and his dad. That's really my only critique. Ambrose isn't there.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome. And hopefully can't wait to see that in the future.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this episode, it doesn't have you feeling too bad in the end. And, yeah, it's really good. So, 8 out of 10 for me as well.
Yep. You know what actually I do like? How many episodes do we have where we're like, why can't they just let Monk get a win? Mm-hmm. Why do they have to do that?
Yeah.
They didn't do that this episode.
They didn't break his legs after he's finished the marathon, which is usually what happens.
Exactly. Or he doesn't get to finish the marathon, or he doesn't get a trophy for the marathon, or whatever. And we might attribute that to the fact that it is a Christmas episode, so they didn't want to be like, oh, yeah, it's still Monk and it's Christmas, but he still has a terrible life. Mm-hmm. So we could maybe attribute it to that, but I'll take it.
I will take it.
That
was a good one.
And he even gets a Christmas present. And he's like, oh, I didn't get you anything. And he's like, yes, you did. You really did.
Aww.
So sweet. I love that.
It was good.
It was excellent.
Round of applause for this episode. Thank you, Toby. It was good.
Yeah, so how are we going to wrap this one up? I always say, like, we just stop talking.
No, okay.
But we don't really. We do talk a little bit more.
What if we teach them how to ride a bike and that's how this podcast ends? Okay, get on the bike, everyone.
Okay. Versus virtual spin class.
Virtual spin class. Okay. I have noticed that none of you actually know how to ride a virtual bike, so we're going to be teaching that to you today. So just get on. Yeah. Now that you're on your bike. Kandyce, would you hold them? And then
I won't let go.
Okay. Keep on running.
I'll never let
go. Look at you go. Oh, it hurts my ears. Okay, never mind.
You basically just pedal. Put your feet on and you pedal. You hold the handlebars and you go forward. And then you feel the wind in your arms.
Yeah, look at you. The wind is all in your arms.
Well, I was going to say hair, but there's some bald people. So in your arms. That's a Friends reference, just in case.
It's good. Yeah. Look at you go. Come here. Come on.
Show me the bell. Show me the bell.
Cling, 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 cling.
This is going off the rails now.
Big round of applause for you guys for learning how to ride a bike. Thank you once again, Toby.
I think we're hyper. I think we need to watch another episode.
So.
Because we obviously just want to talk.
For real. Okay, bye everyone. Give Daddy Jack a kiss.
Oh my. I absolutely will not be doing that. I'm no longer participating in this creepy spin class.
Okay, bye everyone. Love you.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Junk Monk Podcast. We'd love to hear from you, so please give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, follow us at Junk Monk Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
If you want to know more about Kandyce, she's at Hardens and Hardhats on Instagram. And if you want to know more about me, Noah L., subscribe to my vlog, Noah Hernandez, on YouTube. Also, you can leave us a voicemail at 323-366-0477 with your questions, comments, or just to show us some love.
Don't forget to catch up on Monk with Amazon Prime Video, and of course, subscribe to our show.
You'll thank me later.